VOJC, yeah.
Who am I? I'm Spider-Man.
TiVoMike!
Alright everyone, and welcome back. Another fantastic week of shows. A little disheartened to come back and it just be a week of shows. They're only going to do this week and then they're gone again until January 5th. Thankfully, they're not taking a long hiatus, just a typical holiday hiatus they always take. So we're going to open up with Chicago Med, Season 7, Episode 9, titled Secret Santa Has a Gift for You. So we open up and, where we finished last week, or a couple weeks ago, Dr. Cooper spazzed out and had some kind of a heart attack or something, and Will's freaking out. So we open up and Jessa, the representative from Vascom, asked Will to accompany her to her niece's choir recital at the tree lighting. And we see this as up to, Will. He's a ladies' man. Somehow all the ladies love Will. So you get the connotation that she's maybe hoping for more than just, hey, well, let's be friends at work. And so the thing, she asked Will to accompany her to her apartment for eggnog. There they start talking, and sure enough, she's all about her business. She's just about her money, about Vascom, and about making sure she gets paid. So they offer Will Cooper's deal, which was, hey, every time a hospital uses a catheter from Vascom, he'll get a pushback, or he'll get some kickback on the return on the percentage. So what she didn't know while she's offering this to Will, he's actually recording the whole conversation. So he takes the recording to Goodwin and the legal member from the board of the hospitals, and they decide they have enough evidence to go to the FBI. But the bureaucrat needed to warn the board before blindsiding them with the disaster. Halstead visited Cooper and asked about Vascom, and he didn't admit to any wrongdoing. He shared plans of moving to a bigger practice out of state. The board was grateful for their findings, but the board, because it's always about the money, didn't want any backlash. So they said, hey, thank you guys very much for doing this work we didn't ask you to do, and thank you for figuring out what was going on and why they were pushing Vascom so heavily, but we don't want you to do anything else with that. Just get rid of that and hush it. We're good for now. We're going to discontinue the use of Vascom, and we're also going to fire Dr. Cooper. So no worries. We're all good. Will was very shocked, and Goodwin was very upset, like, wait, why are we not doing more? Why are we not going to the FBI? So she pretty much told Will just to chill out and relax, and that was it for now. So, that was that storyline, which was a nice, quick storyline. Then we get Dr. Taylor's storyline, get a little wrap up, and she gets her drug test in, and it was negative, of course. And she hugged Maggie for helping her, and Maggie apologized how she pressured her into entering her life. Vanessa was content with her biological mother returning to her life. So she told her, no, don't be so apologetic for it. Like, it's working out, blah, blah, blah. A nice, cute little way to wrap it up and kind of really put the spin on, hey, it's not that bad. I truthfully think it's a good storyline. I thought they worked it out well. It was nice to see Maggie get a productive storyline after last season when everything was so against Maggie or indestructive Maggie. So I'm happy to see that. Except for, where's her husband? We haven't seen him at all this season. And last I knew, they weren't talking about divorce. And maybe I forgot. Did he pass away? I don't think they show him passing away on screen. So can we see him? All right. So a couple comes in, and this is like one of the opening scenes. We get to see Dr. Scott flexing, being Dr. Scott, and his greatness. He's also working with Will on this case. And a couple comes into the ED with their infant, and Halstead and Scott caught the case. The baby was doing fine, and for a while, and then she crashed, and they had to intubate. The parents were torn apart, and it turned out she actually had some hereditary condition that needed immediate treatment. But for this episode, for this case, was very random because, one, there was no signs or talk of the baby having some kind of disease or illness. So I can understand the parents being scared or even being like, oh my gosh, what's going on with our daughter? She's vomiting. All babies vomit. How come this vomit is worse? The thing that made it scary, or the thing that made it like, holy crap, was you get this tiny baby and they're like, we got to intubate. Well, we as humans, parents, people, intubate is a medical thing. Like, oh my gosh, why do you have to intubate? And then to see them intubating this tiny little baby, it was like, goodness, you guys are just ripping the Band-Aid right off and going right for the jugular, as always. So, I mean, should we be surprised? No, we probably shouldn't. But it was a lot. It was amazing. It was great to see Will and Scott working together. Plus, I just really like Scott, and I think they did a good job bringing him in and giving him a good storyline. So then they wrap that up. They turn out that it's some hereditary thing, but they're able to treat the baby and get her and her parents on her way in time to be home for Christmas. Again, very cute storyline, very wholesome. It's very weird because I don't think Matt has killed anybody this season. Oh, well, maybe that's just me. We'll find out. We'll review this again, I'm sure. Also, I know you guys are realizing, wait, it's just Entertainment Guru Mike today. What's going on? Well, TiVoMike had a birthday recently, and for his birthday, he decided he wanted to be a big kid, and he went to Disney. So it is going to be just me this week, but we have the luxury of just me, and TiVoMike will be back for our next recaps. So don't be alarmed and don't be scared. We're still together. We're still doing this thing called life. All right, so back to the recaps. We get another play on our Dr. Marcel, the Playboy. Avery surprises Dr. Marcel in the ED, and she's smoozing up and trying to see when they can go on a date. And as she's doing this, her mother, Dr. Blake, shows up and told her daughter, "Hey, you gotta go do something. Get out of here. Why are you here? Don't be bothering the doctor." So, they're hanging out. Dr. Blake and Dr. Marcel are figuring out what they can do with the transplant patient Ruben, because he's waiting for that liver. They finally find one. Everything seems to be going well. And right before they're about to start, Ruben crashes, and it's because he has pressure on the brain. So we get a nice visit from Dr. Abrams. Everyone loves Dr. Abrams. He's the resident neurosurgeon. So he comes on in, and he's like, no, we can't do that. And both Crockett and Blake are like, wait, why just do this? And how about, you come in, alleviate some of that pressure off of his brain, and while you get the pressure alleviated, we'll start working on, getting the liver in there. And he's like, I don't know how I feel about this, and Dr. Abrams, he's good at his job, so he doesn't do anything that's going to put his job at risk. I think the one thing I can say I love about his character is he's consistent with that. He's never changed. They haven't made him like, oh, this time he's against it, next time he's for it. He's always like, well, hold on. Before I put my name on this and sign off on some stuff that could be detrimental to my career, what's going on here? So I like that he stays true to that characteristic. So, we're waiting to see what happens. We also get another close-up or another scene of Marcel and Blake potentially being more than just work partners. Fortunately for us, the writers have gotten better with the foreshadowing or the play on a scenery, right? Like, they're not saying they're going to be together, they're not saying they're not going to be together, but they're giving you enough to think maybe they might, maybe they will. So it's just enough to be like, wow, that could work, or hey, I don't really know if I want to see that. But it's not enough for you to be like, it's not too much where you're like, oh God, another love story. So I like how they're kind of peppering it in this time around versus every other season where it's just like one relationship after the next for every character that it comes onto the show. It was, again, very well done. We notice at the end, they play at the end of that particular storyline, we get a little Christmas theme. Oh, look, is that mistletoe? And Dr. Blake and Marcel share a little kiss. Mwah. And they move on. It wasn't nothing big. They didn't over-exacerbate on it. They didn't stay on the scene too long. They didn't automatically start stripping each other's clothes off. So it was perfect. It was good. It was tastefully done. And it was realistic. So I did like what they did there. We covered a lot. I mean, so much happened on this finale. I will give Wolf Entertainment and Derek Haas all the credit they need. And whoever does Med, you guys were phenomenal with how you guys did this. The next storyline we had a couple come in, and this case is caught by Dr. Taylor and Dr. Hammer, and it's a workaholic executive, and she's experiencing pelvic pain and dizziness, and it was a very awkward scene. It didn't make a lot of sense at first when it first opened up, because you're like, what is going on with this lady? So we find out there's far more going on. So as I was saying, we get another weird case, or an unusual case. We get a Dr. Taylor and Dr. Hammer get caught a case again of a workaholic executive, or from what we experience, told of her, she's a workaholic executive. Her husband was confident that there was a mistake in her treatment, because when she was trying to be seen at the emergency room, her insurance card gets declined, and her husband's like, no, there's no way. This woman works so much, there's no way her insurance, you know what, just take the credit card for the collateral, for the payment, and we'll work that out after. Can we, get my wife seen? So they get her in. Something seems to happen. Her condition seems to get worse. Like, she seems to be even more like going crazy, and it's weird because like, they're running all these tests, and you're like, what are these tests for? It doesn't make sense. So finally, Dr. Hammer's like, you know what? Hold on. Let me check one other test here. And before she goes to do the test, she starts examining the woman's body, and she notices like a bite mark behind the ear, in the hair, and she sends off for one more test. And while they get ready to do that, Maggie comes back in the room again to tell them that the credit card was now declined. And he's like, wait, what? Can we just get my wife seen, and we'll figure this part, the finance part after. Again, a little nod to, how we have to have medical insurance, and how corrupt the government is, type nod, in my opinion, from Dick Wolf. Love it. It makes it great. It's good TV, so I'm not mad at him for it. When we find out that the woman has contracted typhus from a flea bite, most likely or possibly derived from a rat. Now the husband's like, wait, what? So they're sitting in this hospital room. It's a very awkward stage being built here, because now you're like, oh man, is she cheating on her husband? Wait, how did she get rat bite? Come to find out, the wife had actually been laid off from her job, and has been faked going to work, and been spending time in the storage locker where the husband and wife had some stuff in storage from when they moved. And she actually had gotten bit by a rat while in the storage locker. So it was very crazy, very weird, very nice build up on how they did everything there. But it tied off. All right, so our next storyline, after that one finished up with her realizing that she had the bug bite while in storage, is her telling her husband everything that happened, her feeling too much pressure to be able to admit to her husband that she lost her job, and him realizing and telling her, hey, we got this, but you got to tell me these things, yada, yada, yada. Nice, cute little storyline, but I love seeing Taylor and Dr. Hammer working together, so that was a really good, nice touch. All right, perfect here. All right, so we finish up that, like I said, cutesy little storyline, and we get to see a little bit more of Hammer and Taylor working together, so that's really good. Give me 1 second here. And the next storyline was probably one of my favorite storylines. One, it involves Dr. Charles and Dr. Archer. And normally I don't like them too. Well, I don't like Dr. Archer because I feel like he's just always coming for Charles, and he needs to lay off because Charles is a great therapist, psychologist in the ED. But it's cool because this one was a good one. So Dr. Archer treated a patient who was almost hit by a bus. His name was Kyle. Archer figured it was a suicide attempt. So because he assumed it was a suicide attempt, he sought Dr. Charles' expertise in figuring out the mental issues that could be related. When Kyle awoke from his treatment, he found himself strapped to the bed, and he kind of was like, wait, what's going on here? So he claimed he was on school campus, but Charles confided him with the reality of the situation, meaning he wasn't on school campus. He was actually downtown Chicago, but for some reason he thought he was on campus. He thought the bell was ringing, and he was just heading to class when he walked out in front of the bus. Turned out, after talking to Charles and getting it out, Kyle admitted he was diagnosed with schizophrenia. So now Charles miraculously knew he was having an episode and wanted to keep him in the ED, but Archer wanted to kick him out as he had already been treated. So Charles found out Kyle had been drinking a new tea from a health food store. Archer had patients with mental illness case. Charles pretty much called him out on being a bigot, essentially, for people who with mental issues, because he's noticed the last couple of cases, and he gives them the name of 4 of them and said, hey, these are the 4 different times that you shot down me trying to do my job for people with mental illnesses that come into the ED. So, Archer's like, whatever, just, figure it out, get him out here. He's been seen, we need to get the beds open, pretty much, is what his excuse is. So Charles hunts down the ingredients for this new tea and found out one of the ingredients was reacting to Kyle's medication. And because of that, he started having an episode, and that's why when the car alarm went off, he went into a schizophrenic episode of thinking he was on campus, and that was the bell for to change classes, and walked out in front of the bus. So it was not a suicide attempt. Archer's still kind of like whatever. So Charles said, "Hey, listen, let me try this for you. This thing called the Augmented Reality Vision. It's an Oculus. It's gonna kind of give you an idea of what it looks like, or what someone like Kyle may have been going through, or people with mental illnesses in general. So." He goes, you don't want to try it, it's fine, but give it a minute or two. If it gets too much, just take it off. It's not a big deal. And Archer's like, it's not going to be too much, whatever, just put it on. So he puts it on, and all of a sudden it's like calling out all his worst fears. Maybe they don't like me, maybe they hate me, maybe this, maybe that. And now Archer is like, oh my goodness, what's going on here? This doesn't make sense. This doesn't add up. So now Archer's kind of experiencing or able to empathize more with patients with mental illnesses than he may have been previously. And I like it because it wasn't so cheesy, like automatic, like, oh my God, I'm so sorry I was this guy. It was just like, oh, okay, maybe I was a little too fast to make a decision or determination on that. Got it. And they kind of went right back into it. So it was perfect. It wasn't over the done. What I did like was Archer apologized to Charles, and I was waiting for this because I was kind of mad at Steve Weber, even though he didn't write the script, that he was such a jerk. But he apologized to Dr. Charles for admittedly to not understanding mental illnesses, and to make a better choice, a better decision to better understand mental illnesses or mental conditions better when patients are coming in, because now he realizes that, or at least in his moment with this Oculus, he realized he could have maybe prevented Ethan from being shot this whole time, or Ethan being shot would have never necessarily happened had Dr. Archer had a better understanding of clients or patients with mental illness. So it was a nice wrap up of that storyline. Kind of put it to rest. We don't have to worry about it anymore. We're not going to bring it up. And now we know Dr. Archer is going to do better, since Ethan's probably not going to be back for a little while he goes under surgery for recovery. And then we get the finale of the episode, a Christmas party. Dr. Abrams is dressed up as Santa. They're giving toys out to the kids. Everyone's enjoying themselves. Finally, Vanessa grabs the mic and says, "Can I say something?" And as she's saying something, she finally tells everybody that Maggie's her biological mother and how proud she was to have her. Yay! We can celebrate now. Everyone knows. There's no more secrets. There's no more stress. There's no more, oh my God, they don't want me here. Finally, yay! But it was a really good episode. It was really cute. It was really nicely done. And all of a sudden, it gets interrupted. And the FBI come in and they're like, "Hey, we're looking for Cooper and Jessa." And they're like, "Oh, okay, you're under arrest. You're under arrest." And the legal guy from the board is like, "What in the world?" And Will's like, "What in the world?" And he looks over at Sharon. He's like, Nope, I didn't tell you what we were doing, Will, because I need you to be completely wiped of any wrongdoing or part in what I did here. But I did still go to the FBI like I said I was going to. And I'll deal with the board later and her Sharon-esque abilities. I agree with her. I think it was the right thing to do. I was a little nervous because I thought they were doing this with the intent to get Sharon, a.k.a. Essie Patha, off of Med because of the revival of Law and Order. But I'm now realizing that may not have been it, and it's just a nice little storyline they got to throw in there to kind of change it up a little bit. So I'm really excited to see how it's going to play forward. I'm looking forward to seeing them back on the 5th of January. January 5, the day after January 4, which will be the return of This Is Us. Oh, I can't wait. But guys, tune in. Check out Chicago Med season finale. Secret Santa has a gift for you. Very good episode. Probably one of their best episodes. And by the way, Dr. Scott, love the Christmas sweater. I want that Christmas sweater. Tell me how I can get that Christmas sweater. But guys, a really good episode. And it's weird because I don't remember the shows ever doing Christmas episodes. But it's so nice to see them kind of going back to old school TV of doing Christmas episodes for those who watch TV live. So thank you very much for that. Tune in. Check it out. I want to thank you guys for being here with me today. We got 3 more recaps coming up. Fire next. PD the day after, and oh my gosh, SVU. Listen, guys, I appreciate you. I thank you. Remember, keep the remote close, but keep the savior closer. This is Entertainment Guru Mike Warner. I want to thank you all for being here, tuning in, and watching this great show with me. You guys have a fantastic day. I'll see you tomorrow.